like to be humiliated by women? Here's your dream date. You are not ready.
Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Chit Chat with Datty and Bratty. Now, I'm kind of, I was running up the stairs. I'm kind of doing an impromptu video. I want to be in front of my green screen a little bit because I want to add certain things in, but I'm just going to you directly. Now, I made a video about getting my first Dreamcast, but it's not on my current channel, it's on an old one. I might redo that one, but I want to talk a little bit about the PlayStation 1 because I'm sitting downstairs and I'm playing my original Resident Evil from when I was 14 years old on my wife's PlayStation, although I have my original PlayStation sitting right up there. I didn't know I had it. Did not know I had it, but it is sitting right up there. And I opened it in a box and I'm like, whoa, blown away by it. And I kind of want to tell you a little story that's a mix between the PlayStation and Resident Evil and my first time getting it. So if you will indulge me, I'm going to go ahead and tell you the story. So I don't have the game on me right now. It's downstairs and I should probably grab it, which I will in a minute. Growing up, it's kind of hard to understand going from 16-bit or 8-bit to 16-bit to 32-bit. You can try to explain this to people all you want, but they're not going to get it. They're just not going to get it because you had to be there to experience it. I remember the first time I saw a PlayStation and I saw the graphics and my mind was blown. I was looking at this thinking, how is this even possible? Now, you got to understand, you're playing the Super Nintendo, your Sega Genesis, or your original NES, whatever, Master System. You're running from left to right, and these are beautiful sprite graphics, and I love them. And now I grew up loving them even more, but not to get off track here, you didn't have a 3D game. They didn't exist. So imagine suddenly, out of the blue, you were seeing these beautiful 3D graphics. You're seeing all of this, and you're like, oh my God. I remember looking at PlayStation, seeing games that were coming out. There's like Bust a Move, which was like a puzzle game, Cool Spot Goes to Hollywood, seeing things like Resident Evil, and my mind was fucking blown. I was like, are you kidding me? How is this even possible? What is this I'm looking at? And to people today, they're going to look at this rudimentarily, and they're going to say, oh my God, that's so ghetto, that's so old. Not to me. In fact, even nowadays, when I play new games, I actually more appreciate looking at my old games like Resident Evil on the PlayStation. Seeing the jump was insane. It will never happen again, and there was no way to explain it, but for you guys out there who know what I'm talking about, it was crazy. I lost my fucking adolescent mind. I kept telling my brother, I want a PlayStation, I want a PlayStation, I want a PlayStation. And the year that I wanted it was maybe the year after it came out, I think, or the same year. We simply couldn't afford it. We could not afford this game, and that's okay. My brother at this time and period in life, he was great, and he tried to do whatever he could, so he couldn't afford it, but he went down and got me like 3 Genesis games, and they were great. Well, 2 of them were great. One of them was Batman Returns, which I have downstairs, and unlike the NES Batman or other Batmans or Batman on the Sega CD, this one was just, not Batman Returns, Batman Forever. Totally different ball game. Just this annoying game, but at the time, it's what you had, and you just tried your best to play it. And I went through most of my games, but this one I just could not. I found this one recently in a box I opened up that was like 25 years old, and it's sitting downstairs. I wish I could show it to you because looking at it brings me a lot of nostalgia, even for something that I did not like very much. But I was very thankful, and I played those games as much as I could until my heart was content. But I really wanted this PlayStation. So the next year came, we were in a better situation, a different situation in life. I kept mentioning the PlayStation, and he had said, something to me. I think he said that, okay, yeah, I'm looking for it. I'll probably be able to get this for you, but I was obsessed. So you know what I did? I sat there while he was at work and I called Toys R Us. I called Best Buy. I called Walmart. I called Kmart. I called every place you can call on a daily basis. Every morning I woke up to ask them, do you guys still have PlayStation? Do you still have PlayStations? They would say, we're running low on stock. We're doing this. And then my brother would come home and I would tell him, they're running low on stock. If you don't get it, we're not going to get it. Oh, they're freaking out. And I probably drove him absolutely mad, but I couldn't get past the fact of I had to have this beautiful 32-bit PlayStation. And it was just so amazing, guys. It was so amazing. And I kept bugging him. And eventually Christmas came. Again, I want to show you the game and my original PlayStation. To you, it's just a PlayStation that I would show you. But to me, I didn't know I even still had these until maybe a month or two ago. And it's sitting up in the corner right there. Let me do this real quick. Hold on. Yeah, Zombies Ate My Neighbors. That's my original when I was a kid. This PlayStation. I know you're thinking, you got some stacked on it? This thing's very light. My original PlayStation. That made all the memories. I would like to... Alright, you guys, one more thing. Other than I want Bean to say hi. She did it in my Dreamcast video. She's going to do it in my new Dreamcast video I make. And this is Bean. The love of my life. Look at her. So beautiful. She's so pissed right now. Alright, Bean, I'll let you know. So, I wasn't aware that I had my original. Now, having any of my Resident Evils I have are great. I have them for my Dreamcast. Resident Evil 2, Nemesis, Code Veronica. I love every one of them. I put life and meaning into everything that I own from 10 or 15 or 20 years ago. But those have so much meaning connected to me. But I didn't realize that some of these things I had when I was a kid, I still had, like my Sega Genesis. I had a lot of stuff stolen from me. But when I opened that box, what I came up with was this. And I have another one in the box. And there's my wife's downstairs. But it was this right here. This right here. Yeah. This guy right here. Still in beautiful shape. I always took care of my stuff ever since I was a kid. I wrote OG on there. That's my thing from 1998. This beautiful PlayStation right here. Look at this. Pop it open. Yeah. It's my Final Fantasy VIII I just told you about. With the Blockbuster sticker still put on it. Yeah. I think I rented it and then bought it from them. I think. Or did I? I think so. These are the things that made such huge memories for me. And I have other PlayStations, but you know, that little nostalgic bug. But looking at this right here, this was the one that I had. It changed my life, and I have it on display up here right now, which I'm going to use it. I'll show you that in a second. But it was this system. I have Crash Bandicoot over there too. I can show you that in a minute. In pristine condition, in a sealed case. It literally looks brand new. I always took care of my stuff. But it was that. And then for Resident Evil, I had two. I think the first one I had was a long box. I think it was the long box version. I'm not sure. But I know we rented it. But I do remember right after that, we got this version. So it's close enough to being my first version, even though it's not. But right after I got that, I got the director's cut, which was right here. And I played through this one also. So here you have it, guys. Sony PlayStation, Resident Evil Director's Cut. You couldn't ask for more as a kid, and I couldn't ask for more as an adult. These things bring a tear to my eye, and I'm so happy to have these things that brought these beautiful worlds of this beautiful game. OG 1998 written on it, of my experience with the PlayStation and Resident Evil. Yeah, so amazing. So anyways, Christmas came and I opened up my presents, and what did I open up? A fucking Sony PlayStation. And I was like, holy shit. I remember the games. I got Crash Bandicoot. I got Cool Spot Goes to Hollywood. If you don't remember Cool Spot, well, you will if you're my age. If you don't, he was a mascot for 7-Up. And it was great. And I got that game. And I got Cool Spot, Busted Move, and Crash Bandicoot. Yeah, those were the games I got. And I remember playing Crash Bandicoot the first time and thinking to myself, wait a minute, I'm running into the screen. I'm not going left to right. I'm going into the screen and jumping. And it blew my fucking mind. And I loved that game. And I was really good at this game. Really fucking good. I just knocked out every jump and every bit. And it's a difficult game, but I just could fly right through it. It was my favorite thing ever. And I feel like we went into this generation of systems that was the future, and it was the future. And in fact, I know that future I saw right there, I like a lot better than what we're getting right now with a lot of systems coming up. But that's probably another story, although VR is really fucking cool. I remember hearing about Resident Evil. Now we're going to go back a minute before I got the PlayStation. I wanted to get a Sega Saturn. I really wanted a Sega Saturn. Why? Because I was a Sega kid. I ended up having both systems: Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo. I had them across the board, but Sega was always my thing. And I wanted the Sega Saturn. And at the time, Sega Saturn had a port of Resident Evil. And I was like, oh, I want to get this. But, oh wait, they were getting ready to port it. It wasn't out yet, excuse me. But the Saturn was $100 more than the PlayStation. It was just way expensive. And the game hadn't even come out yet, and I wanted Crash Bandicoot, Resident Evil, and it was more affordable. So when I was looking around at it, I tried the 64. I thought Mario 64 was cool, but I was like, doesn't have all the games I want yet. I'll have a whole story about that coming up soon. And when I got one, and having one now. I played the PlayStation. I looked and we went to the store, and I looked around, and I was like, Saturn, PlayStation, and it was sold on that, off the simple fact that it was more inexpensive and there was more things available. And I am grateful to this day that I got that PlayStation, because the PlayStation for me as a kid was the best thing to ever exist. And in fact, I'm grateful that I actually got that over the Saturn. And that sounds crazy, right? Big Sega kid. But I feel like the PlayStation was where I was meant to be. The PlayStation 1, not 2. Fuck the 2. Don't like 2. Won't go into that. Don't like it. But that was where I was meant to be. Now the Saturn's another story. I got the Saturn later on, and that became one of my favorite systems of all time. But I feel like that system was something I appreciated more as an adult than when I was a kid, and the PlayStation was right where it was at. Although I did used to go hang out with one of my brother's co-worker friends, and we played Nights into Dreams and Blazing Dragons, and I adored it. I would have loved to have both. Anyways, when I saw Resident Evil, that's what I want to talk about with this. I saw this game, and I was like, oh my god, like the 3D graphics and moving around. I mean, I'm looking at a chick that has a butt and boobs. I'm like, oh, okay, this is pretty intense. I'll never forget getting that game. Now, to people today, they'll look back and say, oh god, it's so corny. Here, Jill, take this. See if you, the master of unlocking, could figure it out, right? Well, when I was a kid, seeing that opening sequence with live actors, seeing that Jill Valentine, Chris Redfield, Barry Burton, Rebecca Chambers, Resident Evil, it was so cinematic. I was like, I couldn't even believe it existed. And I remember, because we rented the game first, playing this game, and I was just lost my mind. I was at my brother's office, and there was a little cubby hole. You had to come downstairs, go down other stairs, and there was this little cubby hole area you can use for storage. I connected a CRT television, probably a 14-inch or a 19-inch, something small. And I played it, and I got through the beginning and running through, and then Barry Burton shoots the zombie, and then you go to the hallway, and then you see that zombie eating that woman. I stopped playing right there because it was so cool and so creepy. I didn't want to play it alone, and I waited for it to play with my brother. That game changed my perspective and changed my life and what I thought about video gaming, what I thought about gaming, period. Till this day, Resident Evil 1 will always be my favorite survival horror game and my favorite Resident Evil game, that and Code Veronica. This game, people might not even be able to understand now if they're playing all the current ones and they've never played it and they go back, they're like, what is this corny thing? It was beyond anything because you didn't know anything. The game opens up, victims were apparently eaten. You're running around this mansion. You think Barry's maybe the bad guy because the wall's coming down and he's acting awkward. You start finding journals about people talking about their life at home and loved ones, and how they got this great new job with this Umbrella Corporation. We didn't know Umbrella was bad. That was just Umbrella. And as you're scrolling through, you notice he starts to get sicker and sicker and sicker to the point where he's journaling for Itchy Tasty. And that sounds funny nowadays, but when I played that game, that wasn't funny. It was disturbing. It was like, oh my God, this poor guy and his family and his wife. And I didn't know. This was like Night of the Living Dead, like literally. But then it unravels and you figure out that the pharmaceutical company, you found out that they planned this in the house, and you find out that some of the people who were with you are not kosher. They're not good. And they were infiltrated and meant to do this whole time, and you got giant spiders and snakes and a creepy tyrant, and it turned into this thing that just enveloped me in every way. You know what? That's one thing Resident Evil hasn't been able to recreate. I think they do really good with 7 and 8 Village, and now 9 coming out, but after Code Veronica, even with 4, which I'm not the biggest fan of, I feel like it went down, but that feeling was amazing. And the remake on GameCube, which by the way was brilliant, beautiful, awesome, and scary, still can't really touch the first one, because those polygonal graphics, the way they talked, the way you moved, the creepy music, the save room music, it all felt like this scary unknown world that you did not know about. And when you managed to figure it out and make it through, you're like, holy shit. Mind you, those tank controls, I never played controls like that. It took me a second. It took me a while to get the hang of that. Now, till this day, I can do it like it's second nature to me, right? But all these, I would like to see some people nowadays trying to go back to like, what the fuck? But I love them. Taking all that and learning, and then reading 3D and being like, oh, I save at this typewriter. Oh, I move here. Wait, I have all of this music. This isn't just bit music, which I love, but this was this huge score of music, and it was so terrifying and scary and unknown, and it was the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. And when I finished that game and I killed that tyrant and we took off in the helicopter, I just thought to myself, it couldn't possibly get better. And you know what? When I look at games nowadays coming out, beautiful, great graphics, some of them amazing, some of them just carbon copies of others, I still look back and think how amazing that was, how great it was. I was born during a time where I was able to experience all of this music, the NES to the Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, to the PlayStation, and Saturns, to the Dreamcast to the Xbox and the GameCubes to the Xbox 360, and so forth and so on. There was always something new and exciting, and it was a wonderful thing. Not to mention the fact that I don't think kids nowadays understand, because all these games aren't really meant to make you think so much. You're running gunners, you have endless lives, endless respawns. Don't think that could be brain. These games were things you had to think about, you had to try and strategize and make sure you had enough bullets to move around, or a certain amount of continues in the old games. But I'm getting off track here, but the point is that getting this PlayStation was something that really changed my life as a child. I played through that and Crash Bandicoot in every game, and in my opinion, the PlayStation 1 is one of the best systems ever made, along with, of course, the Sega Saturn, evenly one of the best systems ever made, and then my ultimate, which would be the Dreamcast, the Sega Dreamcast. But yeah, I just wanted to tell you that quick story really quick. I showed you the PlayStation. I'm going to go downstairs and I'm going to show you my original Batman Forever that I got that one year when we couldn't afford it, and then the Resident Evil I found when I was a kid. How nostalgic and how beautiful was that? Anyways, guys, I just wanted to share with you a real quick story of how I got my first PlayStation, how I drove my brother nuts, how I played it in his office at work and got too scared, and how I went through this game and it kind of changed my life. This flowed on all the way through. Then there were so many more milestones. Final Fantasy VIII for me. Oh my God. That game just made me lose my mind. That game even more so than Resident Evil, gave me the perspective of the kind of world you can build in these kids and their relation and their orphans and where they came from. And it was just mind blowing to see the the ability to tell a story in a format like that. And till this day, whenever I look at that system and I turn it on, I am in bliss, because I would play that every day for the rest of my life over anything new that has ever come out, because it was an amazing time. So if you guys were out there, were able to live in this amazing time, well, bless you. But I do want to ask, I don't know if you're a comment, but I would appreciate if you do, because nobody ever does. But I mean, you don't have to. This is mainly for me, and I just let you guys kind of join in if you want to see these videos. But what was your first system? You know, was it, what was your first experience that maybe blew you away? Was it the PlayStation 1? Was it the 2? What was it, 2? The 3, the Xbox 360. What was it? How far back are we going? Maybe comment below about it, maybe a little short story about all of this. But anyways, I just want to come tell you this story. I'm probably going to have my original game and my PlayStation pop up in the corner since I found it, and it feels so good. Oh, one more thing before I leave. I was sitting downstairs and I was playing it with my wife, and I was playing it on this futon I bought in my retro corner. I'm in my game room right now, but it's my retro corner downstairs. And I was playing it on a CRT television that I got, a beautiful one, and it was the most brilliant, beautiful experience ever. So, yeah, 1 second. This magazine I was a kid. We got Shenmue over here, and I got Panzer Dragoon Saga over there. But anyways, how I had this lined up was, not that I like stacking things on it, but I moved this over here, just like this, and then I have this beautiful guy, which says Sega. This is from Sonic Mania. Set it on here very nicely, so it does not scratch. Very nicely, just like this. Let me move to the side a little bit. That's something else sitting here. Yeah, and then my original box for Zombies Ate My Neighbors, the only original Super Nintendo box game that I actually own, sitting right there beautifully. There you have it, guys. Here's my Resident Evil, which I have downstairs because I'm playing, but I might go ahead and just set it up over here for now until I am done. All right.